Why do people love games like Tibia and Medivia? The answer lies in how these games evoke a sense of progression, reward, and achievement. Many of us cherish memories from our early gaming hours, hunting trolls, rotworms, and other creatures. What might seem repetitive at first is deeply engaging due to a psychological factor, the anticipation of accomplishment. This progression is intensified by the competitive nature of the servers, especially when they were always full. The competition for hunting spots was fierce, creating a dynamic akin to a lottery. Each occupied cave led us to search for another until we found an empty one. When we did, it felt like discovering a rare opportunity, prompting us to spend hours seizing that moment, uncertain of when we'd have the same luck again. This cycle of searching, conquering, and immediate reward is what makes games like Tibia and Medivia captivating. They don't hand everything to us. We must pursue, compete, and persist. And that's why every small victory holds immense value. PvP has always been intertwined with the gaming experience from the start. In games like Tibia and Medivia, competition isn't just about advancing against monsters. It's about player interactions. Imagine this. After much searching, you find an empty respawn spot ideal for hours of hunting. But soon another player appears and starts hunting the same creatures, directly hindering your progress. Such conflicts are common and often lead to frustration and anger. The next step? Perhaps confronting that player or even killing them in retaliation. This can trigger a chain reaction. They return with friends, and what began as a simple space dispute escalates into a group war. These spontaneous and unpredictable conflicts are hallmarks of these games. PvP, in this context, isn't just an added feature. It's a natural consequence of the game's structure, blending resource competition, lack of instances, and an open world where actions have real consequences. Understanding the game's evolution over time. To address the high competition for hunting spots, developers expanded the number of available respawns. However, this had a significant side effect. By attempting to resolve the space dispute, they inadvertently reduced player interaction and conflict, elements central to the original experience. This leads to an important conclusion. The game's vitality depends on a specific factor, a sufficiently active player base to generate resource competition. When this competition fades, the server loses part of its purpose and gradually empties. This population decline often results in server merges, signaling that the game's natural cycle has been disrupted. Therefore, preserving Medivia's essence and ensuring its longevity might not lie in creating more content or hunting areas, but in reclaiming what has always kept servers alive: rivalry, tension, and unpredictability through PvP and direct player competition. Analyzing today's player base and server success factors, understanding the current player profile is crucial for creating a balanced and lasting gaming experience. Broadly, Medivia players can be categorized into three groups: players seeking financial gain, primarily from Brazil and, more recently, Venezuela. Many view Medivia as a genuine income source. In Venezuela, the extremely low minimum wage makes servicing, playing on others' accounts for money, a viable livelihood. This group is profit-driven and often present in the most active servers, neutral and casual players. They play for the joy of the experience, leveling up characters, completing quests, exploring the world, and having fun with friends. This group values RPG elements, personal progression, and a relaxed gaming environment. PvP-focused players. Their main interest is player combat. While there are subcategories within this group, the general focus is on war, territorial dominance, and power competition. A recurring issue with this group is cyclical. Two major guilds clash, vying for server control. Eventually, one guild prevails and becomes dominant. From this point, the server's balance starts to crumble. The absolute dominance often leads to power abuse, where members target and kill neutral or weaker players, creating a hostile and toxic environment. Such scenarios drive away casual and neutral players, generate widespread disinterest, and, over time, cause the server's population to irreversibly decline, leading to its downfall or the need for mergers. Ensuring a healthy and enduring server requires accommodating all player profiles, neutrals, economic players, and especially PvP enthusiasts. As controversial as it may seem, PvP players are central to the server's dynamics. Many find in the game a way to vent frustrations or fill emotional gaps that real life doesn't address, seeking in the virtual world a sense of achievement and dominance. Consequently, they are also the ones who invest the most time and money. They purchase characters, runes, equipment, and directly stimulate the server's internal economy. This group's activity creates a chain effect. With high prices and active trade, players seeking financial gain view the server as a stable and attractive income source. Simultaneously, with a large number of active players, including PvPers and merchants, neutrals also find their space, even if it means competing for respawns, loot spots, or resources. This healthy competition keeps the world alive, dynamic, and engaging. The real problem arises when the war ends. When a dominant guild establishes total control and there's no resistance, the cycle begins to unravel. Character values decline, items and runes lose value, players seeking income leave the server, neutrals lose motivation due to lack of challenge and interaction. Gradually, the server declines. In essence, the server's death begins the moment the war concludes. Without conflict, there's no heated economy, no competition, no emergent content. War, as chaotic as it may seem, drives the server's longevity and value. Addressing the issue of dominant guilds, the solution isn't to create an open PvP server, as in Tibia. This approach, in my opinion, contributed to Tibia losing some of its charm. We need a more intelligent solution that involves all parties equitably, but also offers tangible results for those seeking power and recognition in the game. The key is to make the dominant guild desire what we want them to desire. Fundamentally, a dominant guild seeks fame, money, and recognition. So the solution is simple. Give them exactly that, but in a way that benefits the game as a whole. How? By implementing the Castle PvP system. How would it work in practice? Castle PvP would be a daily battle for server dominance. Each day, a winning guild would emerge with control. But what makes it more intriguing are the rewards. Here's how the system would function. 1. Taxation of all players on the server. Every transaction, whether buying or selling items, boat trips, sales at gyms, or potion purchases, would incur a 10% fee. This fee goes directly to the dominant guild's treasury. This incentivizes the dominant guild to keep as many players active as possible, as more players mean more money. 2. The dominant guild's benefit. Each time a guild wins, it controls the server's bank for the following period, meaning all transaction taxes go directly to that guild. For guild members, this would be a major source of income. However, the money wouldn't be split evenly. The guild leader would receive 50% of the total value accumulated that day, while the remaining amount would be divided among the members. 3. Exclusive and secure respawn. To ensure the war remains balanced and the losing guild has a chance to recover, only the guild that won the previous day's war would gain access to an exclusive respawn area. This guild would have access to a privileged space for hunting and accumulating resources. The defeated guild would not receive this benefit, but would still have the opportunity to reorganize and prepare a new strategy for the next war. This guarantees that competition never dries up, keeping the game dynamic and interesting. Scheduled and structured battles. Each server should have a fixed time when the battle begins, repeating every day. This prevents the possibility of one dominant guild controlling 2 or more servers at the same time. Battles would be strategically planned, allowing all players to prepare and be ready for the fight. Each battle would last for 1 hour and 30 minutes and take place on a custom map created by the developers, ensuring no outside interference or influence from players not involved. Why would this solve the problem? This system creates a continuous cycle of competition and reward. Dominant guilds are encouraged to stay active and maintain control because fame, power, and money are their main motivations. The constant struggle keeps the server dynamic. At the same time, losing guilds would have a way to bounce back, ensuring the conflict never truly ends, but also never becomes one-sided. This model creates a natural and sustainable balance for the server, keeping all types of players involved and motivated, from power seekers to casual adventurers and those seeking a source of income. With Castle PvP, war wouldn't just be a temporary phase, it would be a constant, exciting feature that keeps the server competitive and makes every player feel like they're part of something bigger. One important note, playing on a server without hotkeys makes an enormous difference in a game like Medivia. I understand the reasoning behind creating servers with hotkeys, especially to attract new players and streamline the experience. But for those who truly appreciate classic, strategic PvP, the absence of hotkeys is essential. It brings back raw skill, situational awareness, and manual execution that makes every fight intense, unpredictable, and rewarding. That's why I suggest one specific addition to the Castle PvP system. Within the daily battle zones, implement some sort of hotkey restriction, forcing players to use traditional controls during combat. This simple change would add an extra layer of challenge and authenticity to the battles, and would attract the most passionate old-school players. Furthermore, to make the war even more impactful, all players who die during Castle PvP should lose all their items, just like characters with red skulls. This penalty would give the battles real weight, requiring organization, strategy, and bravery from all participating guilds. Real PvP, without hotkeys and with real loss, is what makes Medivia stand out and stir emotion. This technical detail, though small, could be the turning point to make Castle PvP truly unforgettable. If you, developer, felt that this video or proposal helped in any way, and if you believe this gameplay style has the potential to be implemented in your server, I kindly ask for just two things in return. That the daily war always begins at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, Massachusetts UTC-4. That somewhere in Mittenhof or Khazor-Dûn, there's a small reference to my guild, Commando de Kaz. Even if it's just a hidden detail, a line of dialogue, or a small monument. That would mean a lot to me. I made this video specifically for Medivia because I truly love the game. And more than that, I genuinely believe this idea could be your path to standing out even more in the old-school MMORPG community and reaching a whole new level as developers. Thank you for creating something so special.